A lot of strange things happen in 2022. Today I'm going to share with you lessons we can learn from 2022 so we don't repeat many of these mistakes in 2023. All right, so let's get right into it. I have a lot of different points. The first one I'm going to talk about is the following one. Don't believe your own hype. Here's what I mean by it. A lot of people made a lot of money in 2021 going into 2022. So these folks in real estate were making 50, 100, 200, 300 grand a month. The crypto people were making money. There was a bunch of crypto millionaires, NFT millionaires, all of this stuff. And they started believing that maybe I am better than I really am. Maybe I'm really smarter than everybody else. And then the bad economy shows up. The way you and I can judge ourselves if we should even believe the hype is when you win during a great market, but also when you win during a bad market. 2022 filtered out a lot of people who only won during a great market. Listen, the second one, I don't even know why we do this, but we all fall for it. Don't buy into polls. Polls tell you a bunch of different things. Let me tell you, there's going to be a big red wave. Republicans are going to do this. There's going to be a blue wave. Democrats are going to do this person's going to win. That person's going to win. We have put way too much trust in polls. It's time to only give this much credibility to polls and see what happens, because events, people, things we say, things politicians say, it's so volatile right now that anything can change at any time, no matter how much credibility a poll has had for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. All right, third one, a lot of people became experts at Zooms. Oh my God, I love to do Zoom. So hey, would you like to talk to a little bit more about our business and what we're doing? Yes, let's do it on Zoom. Let's do it on Zoom. Let's do it on Zoom. So people got lazier and lazier and lazier and lazier and lazier, and then they realized Zoom worked during COVID. And Zoom is a good tool to use all the time, but Zoom doesn't build culture. You saw Zoom stock drop. The same way Zoom went up like this is the same way Zoom went down like this when people realize there is power in the handshake. There is power in this. I told a story the other day to one of our guys that's 28 years old who was sitting there saying, I'm going to be doing Zoom for the rest of my life. And he was single. I said, listen, let me explain to you Zoom versus face-to-face. I said, do you go on dates with girls? He says, yes. I said, I want you to think about if you go on a date with a girl on Zoom. No matter how good of a job you do spitting game, no matter how good of a job you saying anything to them, you know ain't nothing happening tonight. I said, but if you go on dinner with a girl, same girl, and you're at dinner, you're gonna bring your game. Why? Because if you spit good game, good things may happen to you, right? Zoom was good temporarily for COVID, and it's good to use on subtle different things if you're dealing with people internationally, but nothing beats face-to-face to build culture, no matter what industry or business we're talking about. So 2 stories I want to share with you. Crazy. Just last week, an email goes out to a bunch of our employees from me apparently asking for their phone number. So a bunch of our employees send the email back saying, hey Pat, here's my number, how to get a hold of me. Then a number texts them for a credit card. One of our employees ends up responding back with the credit card. She lost $400 because they thought it was me. Why would I ask for $400? But that's what happened to one of our employees. Another story is when a guy sends me messages on WhatsApp saying, hey Pat, just so you know, your password, your information is on the dark web. I said, what? So finally we decided to partner with a new partner sponsor we're very excited about, Aura. What Aura does for a living is protect against any of that stuff happening to you. Let me tell you how. So Aura protects you from scammers and hackers by scanning the so-called dark web, where criminals sell stolen information looking for your emails, password, and social security numbers. And what Aura does is it alerts you fast if it finds anything. They also can help fight back against those annoying websites that make your personal information public for automatically requesting removal of your info. This helps reduce those robocalls. They'll protect against any kind of suspicious credit inquiries. Boom, you'll get alerted by them. They protect devices from viruses, malware, spyware. I mean, I can go on and on talking to you about what they're doing against kids. When your kids, I have 4 kids, when they use phones, what they can have access to, the password, all of that stuff Aura does in one place. Some of you may be having certain companies that do 1 or 2 of these things, but Aura does all of that in one place. Having said that, let Aura do the hard work of keeping you safe online. If you sign up right now with Aura, they will give you a 2-week free trial with my link. Go to aura.com/PBD. Once again, aura.com/PBD to start your free trial. Also link below in the description. This one's very interesting. A lot of people tried to bully employers in 2022 and it backfired Q3 of 2022. Why? In 2021, everybody was recruiting, hey, $60,000 salary. Hey, this other person's willing to pay me $80. If you don't pay me, I'm leaving to them with a $10,000 bonus. Oh my God, let's pay him the bonus. Boom, the next. They did that once, twice, 3 times until people realized During COVID, you had 2-3 jobs. You kept doing all this other stuff. Now everyone knows a lot of things about you. So now a lot of people are going to have resumes with gaps where they're going to say, well, during this 9-month period, I was helping my mother because she was sick. I was helping my father because he wasn't doing too well. No, you abused an employer and you know they're not going to say good things about you. So on your resume, there's going to be a gap. Now, if you didn't do this, you're like, Pat, what are you talking about? I didn't do that. There are a lot of people that did do that, and employers are starting to realize that that was gamesmanship. And just so you know, that doesn't help a lot with credibility for those who do that. Now, those employees who during COVID stayed true to the company and they brought value and they grew the company, they have the most leverage today because they showed loyalty. And the company knows, hey man, we value you. That's the leverage the employees got who became entrepreneurs and leaders for the company during COVID while everybody was running around, sleeping around with a bunch of different employers. Credit to those that stuck around with the right companies that had the right opportunity for them. 5, bad policies and ideas have consequences. What do I mean by this? Politically, they have consequences. Let's print money, send money to everybody. People got rich. Next thing you know, oh my gosh, this money is gone. What do we do now? Hey, Disney, we're gonna go do this with cartoons and movies. Great idea. No, it's not. The audience didn't like it. Hey, Netflix, here's what we're gonna do. No, the audience didn't like it. That's a bad idea. Hey, all of these people that had bad policies or bad ideas, the market said to them, we don't like your ideas and policies. Bam, they took a big hit. So it's very easy. Next time you're thinking about coming up with a policy or an idea, process it with other people, not just with people you agree with, specifically with people that also disagree with you, to see that you may have a blind spot that you're not seeing. Don't ever give $2 billion to somebody without an exchange for any board seats. And what I'm talking about is SBF. This guy, Sam Bankman-Fried, is the next, Warren Buffett of the new era, which is a bunch of different guys we're talking about. This guy took $2 billion. He manipulated the marketplace, made a bunch of money, stole a bunch of money. Pure criminal on what he did, and a lot of it's not coming out, that a lot of people from both sides are noticing what he did. And in exchange, all these big companies like BlackRock, Insight, raised $2 billion, never asked for a board seat. Those ideas of playing that reckless and aggressive with investors' money showed in 2022, you cannot pick your winners too early. They got to prove themselves. But again, this is going to happen again and again and again, except in 2023, you're going to see a lot of these money people actually pay attention to the right data that matters instead of just winging it the way they did in 2020, 2021, and early 2022. The business model of a bully is a short lifespan. You can't bully for too long. Let me explain to what I mean by this. Social media was bullying a lot of people, canceling, censoring, all this other stuff. Oh, we're not censoring anybody. Oh, we're not doing any of this stuff. A guy named Elon Musk comes and buys Twitter. Twitter files comes out. All of these people got exposed because bullying doesn't work. Fauci, here's what you got to do. You got to take that. You got to take this. You got to do this or else. Now those files are coming out. Bullying worked for a couple years, but it's not a business model long term. Not in politics, not in business, not in church, not in anything. Eventually, bullies are going to face the one thing they fear the most, and that's the truth, and a true believer, a leader who doesn't fear their bullshit. And that's happening right now in 2022. And this, by the way, will continue into 2023. We learned in 2022, just because somebody calls somebody a journalist doesn't mean they're actually doing the job of a journalist. And we realized we're starting to believe citizen journalism more than actual traditional mainstream media journalism, which is kind of weird. Citizen journalism? People are listening to podcasters? What? Kind of weird thing that's taking place, but that's becoming more and more and more. You're going to start hearing about these journalists working at mainstream medias are frightened of citizen journalism because God forbid if their business model doesn't work and they have to go start their own podcast without the massive engine behind them, they may get exposed realizing how hard it actually is to run a podcast and a show without a teleprompter right in front of them. They're just reading what a producer or somebody wrote for them. It's a very interesting thing we learned in 2022. This is another one of those things that I think is going to go and show up again 2023, 24, 25. The world population ain't slowing down. Even though we're not having as many babies as we typically were having before, we just crossed 8 billion people. And even though we have 8 billion people, the world is smaller than it's ever been before, because where 40 years ago when something happened in Taiwan or Korea or Russia or the Middle East, it would take a minute until we felt the residual effects of it here, where today, anything that happens in the world, we find out about it within seconds due to social media. So the world's gotten bigger, 8 billion, but it's gotten smaller because the impact is immediately felt all over the world. Just because you have more land doesn't mean you're stronger military than another one that's got a smaller land backed up by a bigger government. Who am I talking about? Russia's got all the land in the world. Ukraine is this big, but they're getting support from NATO and US. They are standing against a country like Russia, which, by the way, we still don't know what's going to happen going into 2023. A lot of weird conversations are happening, but that's a David and Goliath story going on. So people are actually noticing it matters to have a stronger military, and some people that you thought were stronger are not really as strong as we thought they were. It's a very interesting that happened between Russia and Ukraine. So those are 10 of the lessons we learned from 2022. And by the way, I can add another 10 more. But if you want to be prepared for the following year and you want some hacks on how to properly write a business plan, I did a video on 12 building blocks that I use to drive you both emotionally and logically. If you've not seen that, highly recommend you watch this video. Click here to watch the video about the 12 building blocks. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.